The latest on today's downtown Pittsburgh apartment fire. Local reaction to the news that all Missouri adults will soon be eligible to receive a COVID-19 vaccine. A historic area hardware store is being restored and is getting a new purpose.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Pittsburgh fire investigators are trying to determine the cause of a fire today in a downtown apartment building. This is a late edition of KOAM News at 10. The call came in around 7:30 this morning of a fire at the Smith Clinic Apartments at 9th and Broadway. Firefighters from Pittsburgh and Frontenac battled that fire for about 3 hours. No one was injured, however, 3 residents were still in the building when firefighters arrived and alerted them to get out.
I woke up, I was napping pretty good, and all I hear is somebody yell water, and I was like, bud, pay your water bill if you ain't got water. Wasn't water, it was fire. Somebody's yelling fire.
A building like this could have easily burned to the ground. We could have burned the roof off of this building. The building could have collapsed, and in the type of fire we had, it could have easily extended down the block, and it hasn't. So I say that the firefighters who engaged did an outstanding job.
Fire department tells us the second floor of the building is heavily damaged. Still no word yet on the cause of that fire. Joplin Health Department reports another coronavirus-related death, bringing the city's total to 128. Officials say this patient was a 90-year-old woman who lived in a long-term care facility. In 3 weeks, every Missouri adult will be eligible to receive a COVID-19 vaccine. Phase 2 in Missouri will start on March 29th, opening eligibility to 880,000 more residents. Then on April 9th, Phase 3 starts, which brings in every Missouri adult. Administrators at the Newton and Barton County Health Departments say they're excited for the next phases to open, and that if supply continues to increase, we could reach herd immunity in a few months.
If we can all work together to increase the number of vaccine doses we give each week, we can get to that herd immunity and then even beyond as quickly as possible. And I'm excited that we could actually do it by summertime.
Local health departments say they'll continue to administer vaccines on an appointment basis since they'll continue to receive a certain amount of vaccine each week. The CDC today revised social distancing recommendations for schools. The agency says students in elementary schools can now be 3 feet apart rather than the previously recommended 6 feet in classrooms where everyone wears a mask. The same is true for middle and high school classrooms unless they are in communities where transmission is high. Officials with the Joplin School District say they have no plans to change their practices at the moment, but they might reconsider in the summer when more people have been vaccinated. Checking in now with Nick Kelly for a first look at the weather.
Well, after a potent storm system that gave us 2 rounds of severe weather and wind shear weather within a span of a day, Dow, it was nice that Mother Nature decided to treat us with a quiet start to our weekend. 33 a cold start this morning, but a nice jump back to 57 degrees this afternoon. Well, didn't mean to jump too far ahead here. This is what I wanted to show you. Clear skies. Not exciting to look at, but it was nice to have quiet skies throughout the day, and that's what we're going to continue to see throughout the night. And you can see it looking off to the west. While they're out in the Central Plains, that's what we'll deal with for the next few days before our next storm system decides to come out of the Rockies. Now I'll take you through the forecast for the rest of the night and into tomorrow. Even though we've been holding in the 40s for much of this evening, we're going to turn cold tonight with overnight lows right around 30, but I expect a quick warm-up for tomorrow. Not bad for our first day of spring kicking off tomorrow with highs right in the lower 60s. We'll break down wind rain chances. We'll return in the forecast coming up in a bit now.
All right, we'll catch you then. Thanks, Nick. Granby, Missouri is at risk of losing one of their most historic buildings. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky explains how the town is trying to save a building on the brink of collapse.
For the people of Granby, their historic hardware store was the hotspot for the town.
I would stop by on my way walking to the bank every day and just stop in and see if there was anything new, and there would always be people in there.
The store is a part of the town's rich history. It was built in 1906 and had everything the community would need.
I mean, it had everything here, everything from furniture to sporting goods to buggies.
But when the owner's wife, who loved the store, died, he closed the door on the shop. Steve Burnett, president of the Granby Miners Museum, says while it was closed, the building became seriously damaged.
The building, obviously, as you can see, developed a leak in the roof, and that leak then caused all the internal damage with the floor caving in.
Granby locals have been wanting to save the building for a while, so Jamie Arnold, a local business owner, finally stepped up and took on the project herself.
I just get tired of seeing everything falling down in our town, and I want to see it all lifted up and built up.
So, Arnold purchased the building.
I could just imagine it full of booths or people walking through shopping.
And now wants to use it to host different stores in order to boost tourism and the local economy.
So we're talking about 6 businesses could come to our community.
But she can't take on all of this alone and needs the help of the community to help finish the project.
So if people can't donate money, there's going to be some opportunities later on to donate their time. The most important part right now is to stop the building's deterioration, and to do that, need to get a roof on as soon as possible.
Burnett adds that Granby isn't the only town with historic spaces in need of help.
But I also challenge you to look at your small communities all around you, because there are buildings like this out there that need you as a community to step up and save them.
Saving these kinds of buildings just helps keep parts of these towns' histories alive. In Granby, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Arnold adds that she hopes to also use this building to help women entrepreneurs branch out their businesses. Coming up, the Biden administration says it's reached its nationwide vaccination goal weeks ahead of schedule. Plus, the president traveled to Georgia to speak with community leaders there about recent violence targeting Asian Americans. With all the changes we've seen due to COVID-19, we know you have some questions, and we do have some answers. Terry sent in this question: what is pathogenic priming and its effect on the immune system? Well, we asked Dr. Uwe Schmidt, an infectious disease consultant with Freeman Health System. Dr. Schmidt had not heard of the term pathogenic priming, but thinks it might be similar to antibody-dependent enhancement, or ADE. ADE refers to a virus attaching itself to weaker antibodies to allow for easier access to a host, something seen with early versions of the measles vaccine. But so far, it has not been shown in a COVID-19 vaccine.
Coronavirus 19 so far has not shown this problem, and it's only a theoretical concern, but they have run, animal and studies, and in humans too, they have not seen this phenomenon. So it's only a theoretical concern which has not been proven to be right.
You can submit your own COVID-19 or vaccine-related questions through a form on our website, koamnewsnow.com/vaccine. President Biden met with leaders of Georgia's Asian American community today in the aftermath of the shooting rampage that left 8 people dead and sent shockwaves across our nation. Skylar Henry reports from Washington.
After meeting with Asian American leaders in Atlanta, President Biden urged Congress to pass the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act.
Too many Asian Americans have been walking up and down the streets and worrying, waking up each morning the past year feeling their safety and the safety of their loved ones are at stake.
The legislation would speed up the federal government's response to the increase in hate crimes directed at Asian Americans.
The Asian community is scared. We are living in terror. We have been for the past year at least.
The president and vice president came to the city to console a grieving community after this week's rampage that killed 8 people at 3 Atlanta area spas.
Each one of them we mourn. Their families are left with broken hearts and unanswered questions.
All of the victims, 6 of them women of Asian descent, have now been publicly identified. A friend remembers an owner of one of the spas.
She was a great person, great mother. She was loved. She'll be missed terribly.
Authorities investigating the shootings say it's still too early to determine whether hate motivated the suspect, Robert Aaron Long.
It's deeply disturbing that law enforcement at this time is downplaying the fact that it could be racially motivated.
A report by the group Stop AAPI Hate finds that the U.S. has seen nearly 3,800 hate incidents targeting Asian Americans over the last year. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Stop AAPI Hate's website offers tips for victims of hate and those who witness it, including approaching the targeted person, introducing yourself, and offering support. Troubling new survey is out about the conditions that new employees say they're facing at Goldman Sachs. The workplace survey comes from a group of 13 first-year junior analysts at the investment bank. They say they work upwards of 95 hours a week on average. Most of the self-selected respondents in that survey say they've suffered a significant deterioration in mental health since starting at the company. The Better Business Bureau says scammers are using fake unemployment benefit websites to trick people into handing over personal information. Don't fall for it. Officials say the fake sites look like government sites and try to lure people in by sending spam text messages and emails. The BBB says no government unemployment agency will reach out to you out of the blue about applying for benefits.
We're looking for some signs of a scammer, right? So that would be pretty easy to do. In all of these cases and other cases, you're being contacted first. We're not reaching out to the person. In all of these cases, the person is wanting something from you. So you are not just getting your unemployment benefits because you went ahead and applied as it's supposed to be. Instead, they're being proactive and they're contacting you because they're on top of it.
Officials say if you do need to apply for unemployment benefits, you should go directly to the state's website or call your local unemployment office. Nick Kelly is up next with his complete forecast. And later, the third-ranked Missouri Southern baseball team looks to stay hot as they take on Central Oklahoma.
After a pretty potent storm system back on Wednesday, lasting into Thursday, the same one that gave us 2 rounds of severe weather and a little wintry weather just for fun and giggles, it was nice that Mother Nature gave us a quiet, nice start to this weekend, and we're still going to look good as we start spring, believe it or not, tomorrow. But today, the time-lapse from indigo sky outside of Seneca, Missouri showed how everybody looked throughout the day. Nice, plenty of sunshine from start to finish. And not to mention, we improved in temperatures, especially once we got the backside of the storm system out of here. Once we finished the day yesterday with highs in the mid-40s, we dropped into the lower to middle 30s this morning, back into the mid to upper 50s this afternoon. That's despite a northeast breeze throughout much of the day at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Ever since we got the evening started, though, that breeze has lightened up, and now we're seeing that breeze turn more easterly. I'm expecting that breeze to turn more southeasterly as we go throughout the course of the night. Even with the southeast breeze, it's going to stay light. When you couple that with the dry air in place and mostly clear skies through the rest of the night, we're looking at a cold start with overnight lows near 30, but those same conditions continue through tomorrow. That means a quick jump to the mid-40s by 10, mid-50s almost by lunchtime, and back finally into the 60s as we enjoy our first afternoon of spring tomorrow. Nothing really screaming out at us in a Skywatch storm tracker. I could plot the surface features for you, but not a lot to show you. High pressure, even though it's sitting on top of Michigan, that's what gave us the northeast breeze throughout the day. Now we're starting to see that breeze turn more southeasterly overnight ahead of our next cold front. That's the one, sticking with Doug's pattern, that will start to roll in here on Monday. Fortunately, it still has a lot of real estate to travel before it gets here. So once we can get this upper low near Portland, Oregon to start pushing that front our way, we'll just enjoy quiet weather as this area, this upper level ridge sitting on top of Denver, slides on top of us. What will that do for temperatures? Let me show you with the latest run of the future track here. We will continue with mostly clear skies for the rest of the night, but again, a light breeze, dry air, and the clear skies means we start cold for your Saturday morning with overnight lows right around 30 degrees. Thankfully, we don't stay cold once we get past sunrise. We'll shoot to 53 by lunchtime, 62 for an afternoon high in Joplin. That's looking nice for our first afternoon of the spring season tomorrow. In fact, everybody should warm into the lower 60s for tomorrow. The rest of the weekend, as we take a wider view of the future track, looking at the jet stream, a good deal upstairs in the atmosphere. As long as that upper ridge stays in place, even with partly sunny skies for Sunday, we'll hold on to highs in the mid-60s, so we'll enjoy that before our next storm system finally starts working in on Monday. That's going to really ramp up rain and thunderstorm chances to start the new work week and school week out. And look at this parade of upper-level lows just wanting to come out of the northwest, dig into the south, and push our way. And you can see what that does for us in the 7-day forecast. We will hold on to rain chances Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe a break after Thursday morning. And then we're seeing another storm system work in as we head toward Friday. So plenty of storm chances lining up once again, but we have a nice weekend to enjoy. 62 for your Saturday, 64 for Sunday. Not looking bad at all for the next few days now.
Yeah, looking beautiful, in fact, for the weekend. It's going to be a couple of nice days to get outside.
Yeah, we just got to get past the cold start, then smooth sailing.
Sounds good. Thanks, Nick. Still ahead, the Mount Vernon girls play for a spot in the basketball state championship. Plus, Missouri Southern baseball aims to stay perfect on their home field against Central Oklahoma. Jacob Leonard is up next with the highlights.
The Mount Vernon girls are still alive for a basketball state championship. The Mountaineers are on the floor tonight against Vashon in the Class 4 state semifinals. The winner of this one plays for a state title tomorrow afternoon. Mount Vernon was on fire early. Ellie Johnston fadeaway there for 2 of her 16 first half points. Mount Vernon up 7 at the break. Then in the second frame, Vashon cuts it to 2 before Mount Vernon answers. Lacey Stokes, part of a 7-0 Lady Mountaineer run. Then Stokes again. Lacey Stokes, game high 39 points for the future Missouri Southern Lion. Mount Vernon wins at 78-55. They'll face Boonville in the state title game tomorrow night. The Missouri Southern Lions are 13-2 to start the baseball season and have made it all the way up to number 3 in the national rankings. The Lions aim to stay hot this afternoon, kicking off a 3-game series at home against Central Oklahoma. Missouri Southern enters the day a perfect 6-0 on their home field. Top of the first, this one gets away. UCO scores the first run of the ball game. Bottom of the third now, it's 1-1. Henry Kuziak singles out to right. That brings Joe Kinder home. The Lions have their first lead, 2-1. Top of the fourth, Zach Parrish doing his thing. Parrish gets 11 strikeouts today. And bottom of the seventh, Tommy Stevenson to the left side. He gets the RBI, brings Jordan Fitzpatrick home. Back to Henry Kuziak, though. He goes 3 for 4. Lions stay perfect at home. They win this one 5-2.
You know, it just feels good to win the game, to win the game we're playing, and we're going to try to do the same tomorrow. So, UCO is a really good team, so we definitely have our hands full. I mean, it's nice to be recognized, but really once the game starts, that really doesn't help you win, but, it's a credit to our players and all the work they put in.
Crowder College softball is also moving its way up the national rankings. At 22-1, the Lady Riders are ranked number 17 in this week's national poll. Crowder has a doubleheader at home today facing Missouri Valley College. Sydney Ward getting the start in the circle for the Lady Riders. Quick first half inning. There's out number 3. We'll go to the bottom half now. First at bat for Jerika Alvarez. She finds a gap. Good for an RBI double. Now Alvarez back for more in the second inning. This one up the line. Shelby Chavers walks in. Then it will be Skylar Randall going back up the middle. Lady Riders bring in another run. We're still in the same inning. Gracie Farrell gets a hit of her own. 2 more score on this one. Crowder finishes this one off in just 5 innings. Game 1 final 8-0. Game 2. Crowder trying for the sweep, and they get it done big, 16-1. Crowder now 24-1 overall this season. Columbus High School opens up the softball season today at home against Parsons. Titans go right to work in the first. Caitlin Lopp back up the middle. Aubrey Saporito and Jalen Rodriguez score the first 2 of the game. More from Columbus in the first. Addie Saporito, just a laser back up the middle. 2 more come home. Titans go on to get 6 in the first inning. Aubrey Saporito really good in the circle today. She actually throws a 4-inning perfect game. Racks up 10 strikeouts along the way. And Columbus did not have any problems giving her run support. Grace Major really thought she put this one out. Major drives in 4 today. Columbus rolls in their opener 20-0. Today's the first full day of action in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. In the South region, the Arkansas Razorbacks are the number 3 seed. They open up against 14th seeded Colgate this afternoon. And not a very good start. Jack Ferguson knocks down the 3 for Colgate. Then does it again. Colgate comes out firing. They're up 33-19. Arkansas, though, does eventually wake up. Justin Smith up for the Jam. 17-0 run for the Hogs. They're up 1 at half. Second half, Smith again. This one puts Arkansas up 5. Razorbacks avoid the Sports Center A block tonight, getting by Colgate 85-68. In the Midwest region, Oklahoma State on the floor against Liberty in the 4-13 matchup. Oklahoma State wins and moves on 69-60. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. George Straw served in the U.S. Army from 1951 to 1953. The Carthage, Missouri native was stationed in Korea, and we are proud to salute Sergeant George Straw, a four-state hero. Scientists are on a mission to clean up space, and they hope to use this satellite to do it. The company Astroscale is slated to launch its ELSA-D satellite into space tomorrow. The small satellite is designed to find and pick up space junk and bring it into the Earth's atmosphere where it'll burn up. This space adopted by Astroscale. How about that?
Kind of sounds like an awesome Roomba.
I was thinking the same thing.
That is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it costs a bit more than a Roomba, I imagine. And the weather looking pretty nice.
Yeah, back down here, our weather's looking amazing. Once we get past a cold night ahead of us, that is, but we're back to 62 tomorrow, 64 Sunday. Partly to mostly sunny skies for a great weekend to enjoy before it rains back in on Monday.
Thanks, Nick, and thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of penguins at the Maryland Zoo checking out their habitat. We'll see you right back here this weekend. In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other.